Today on Rappler, the Philippine Justice Department will file criminal charges against Muslim rebel commanders in the Mamasapano carnage. The Supreme Court reverses a Disbursement Acceleration Program provision it earlier declared unconstitutional. And Pope Francis writes a letter to the Archdiocese of Palo apologizing for his rushed visit. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. This is Rappler's Wrap for the Day, a list of the most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. The Justice Department says it will file criminal charges against 13 commanders from the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, the MILF, and the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters, the BIFF, over the deaths of 44 elite cops in the Maguindanao clash last week. Justice Secretary Laila de Lima on Monday said her office is gathering evidence. An order from President Benigno Aquino prompted this move. At a committee hearing of the House of Representatives Tuesday, lawmakers warned they will stall the passage of the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law if reports from government agencies on the Mamasapano clash are not in by Monday. The agencies include the Office of the Presidential Advisor and the Peace Process, Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and the Philippine National Police. Some lawmakers also propose that President Aquino form a Truth Commission, but Vice President Jejomar Binay says it can't be independent if its members are appointed by President Aquino. A Rappler exclusive. How did one of the most wanted terrorist bomb makers, Zulkifli bin Hir or Marwan, evade arrest since 2003? The answer is simple. He burrowed into the fabric of Philippine society in lawless areas a U.S. Special Forces officer called impenetrable. Marwan had 3 Filipino wives in the Philippines who cemented him into the landscape. Filipinos like ALJEBIR ADZHAR or EMBEL show how working with the Abu Sayyaf can become a family business. EMBEL's father worked for top Abu Sayyaf commander Doc Abu, work he passed on to his 2 sons. EMBEL shopped for Marwan, gave him a place to stay in his family home, and was a conduit for the conjugal visits of his 17-year-old wife. At least 2 of the men trained by Marwan were from Cotabato and had a strong alliance with the MILF. On the Disbursement Acceleration Program, or the DAP, the Supreme Court on Tuesday reverses one of the 3 provisions it declared unconstitutional last July. The provision involves funding of projects not covered by any appropriation in the national budget. The High Court also clarified whether officials of the Executive Department may be held liable over the DAP. In its earlier ruling, the High Court said while recipients can't be held liable for benefiting in good faith from projects, the executive branch is not exempt from prosecution. But spokesman Leyte says the court decided to clarify the language it used. In its February 3 ruling, the High Court said only, quote, authors of the DAP may be held liable, not the people implementing the project. Pope Francis writes a letter to the Archdiocese in Palo, Leyte, apologizing for his rushed visit. In his letter dated January 21, Francis said, I was deeply saddened that the weather warning forced us to anticipate our departure by 4 hours. I ask your forgiveness for any impatience on my part at that time. The Pope visited the Philippines mainly to console survivors of Super Typhoon Haiyan, locally known as Yolanda. But when he got to Leyte, he had to leave at 1 p.m. instead of 5 p.m. to escape Tropical Storm Amang or Mekhala. A beauty pageant in northern Brazil ends in chaos when a runner-up tears the sash and crown from the winning contestant. Chaislaine Hayalia hugged Miss Amazon 2015 Carolina Toledo seconds before she yanked off the crown and sash. The rude departure was greeted with cheers and screams from the crowd. Hayalia says Toledo was given special privileges other contestants didn't have. She adds, quote, I'm showing the people of Amazonas that money is not in charge here. She did not deserve it. For those on desktop, click on the links on your screen. You can also click on the tabs below to go to a story in the video. And for those on smartphones and tablets, the links can be found below the video. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter, part of our patented user engagement model. It gives 8 emotions for you to choose from. If you look at the Mood Navigator today, you can see that the story that's gotten the most number of votes in the last 24 hours is this one. Chris Aquino clarifies OG Regine misunderstanding on the Pinoy SAF issue. You have 54% say they don't care. That gray bringing out the mood of the day says today most people don't care. Please care. That is the wrap for today, Tuesday, February 3. Visit Rappler.com for the latest news here and around the world. Check out our other shows, Tech Wrap and Rappler Talk. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.